Let me just recap us.
Adair. What about Dad?
Okay. All right. Jen.
What about Dad?
Not your mama's TV show.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the second day of Killing-EveMas. Yes? Jen, give us that synopsis of the second episode.
All right, episode 2. It's entitled "I'll Deal with Him Later." Villanelle's handler, Constantine, is concerned about her increasing recklessness on the job. He also informs her that a covert MI-16 task force led by Eve is now investigating her string of assassinations. Eve realizes that a nurse she saw in the hospital before the murders may be the killer.
Dun dun dun. What are you feeling about the second episode?
I think this may have been probably one of my favorite episodes, and really what I'm feeling about this episode, what I'm feeling in this episode,
Deep in this
is
episode.
the dialogue. The dialogue for this show is incredible. I even wrote a little snippet out. At the very first part of the episode, we are at yet another one of Eve's assassinations.
Mm-hmm.
It opens on one where we see this man, he's bleeding and he has his hands pressed against the glass, and she just kind of walks into the frame, and she's just this cat toying with her prey, and the man is like, "Who are you?" And Eve is like, "Huge question." She has no clue. And the man is like, "Why are you doing this?" And Eve is like, "I have no idea." And just that little piece of dialogue, for me, tells you so much about this character. It develops this character almost to the next level, on this existential level.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciated that. That was the first piece of language we got in this episode.
I actually really like the fact that, we do learn about her, but we also learn about the government that she's working with, or the organization. She's hired to kill these people and has no clue why. She likes killing. Fine, that's okay, you like your job, great. But the fact that she has no idea why she's doing it, she doesn't know if she's working for the bad guys. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know if she's working for good guys. She just knows that these people hired her, pay her to kill these people. No questions asked. I guess that's a good way of just keeping your hands clean in a strange way.
Yeah, it gives her joy just to kill.
It really does. I mean, it really does. Yeah.
But one of my favorite parts about this episode was when they have this quirky, humorous scene where we're given insight into just the sheer level of her psychopathy.
There it is.
So there's a scene where we see her, and the character Constantine, and presumably a therapist, holds up photos of a hanging man and a hanging dog, and Eve is just kind of still having a good time, playing a game, has yet to really violence doesn't really affect her in any way, shape, or form, and we get to really see that in her just kind of toy with these men, pretend to have a reaction. I really like that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes.
I mean, it's pretty dang good. Also, I love the fact that she's wearing this pink dress to show childlike kind of playfulness, but also being dressed up for your appointment, knowing good and well what's gonna happen. I really enjoyed, even though it's sick, I love that. What do you see? And the guy's hanging, and she's like, "Good legs."
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel
man,
like.
it's so
It's just so it's indulgent,
Yeah.
taking a moment to indulge in her just.
Well, and you had mentioned something before which I thought was really fascinating of she's playing this game, and does she feel love or emotion ultimately because she's this person? What I found really fascinating, when they showed her the dog, she does her usual fake I'm sad thing, which, that's so endearing. And then when he pulls out the paper of the outline of the hair, of this outlined woman's hair, then you could actually see her shift. I give mad props to Jodie Comer. That shift of ha ha ha, I'm joking sad, to shit, they found something that I actually hold personal. And you're like, how personal do you hold this? And the fact that Constantine also saw that was really kind of telling of like, he knows there's something else going on with her, and this is kind of the first time she's really keeping, I would say, something super private from him, as opposed to just the regular, like, I didn't think you knew that, you know, kind of thing. And I thought that was very fascinating.
Yeah. Do you think, because she is a psychopath, do you think Villanelle can be affected at all by anyone? I'm not just Eve, not just her current obsession. Do you think anyone can get to Villanelle?
I think people get to Villanelle on a random level, like on different levels. She meets a boy in her building. I think in a way he does get to her because she recognizes that he's a nice person. She might not like him, but there's a depth in her that goes, he's probably a good boy. I'd shag him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She does.
And she does. But like, it's not a matter of like, oh, I love him or I like him. She goes, he's a good person and I'm bored, so I'll hang out for a while, you know, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, we see Villanelle in this episode. She kind of starts to date someone, and we get a look at what that might be, dating a psychopath like Villanelle. She dates this young, passionate artist, Sebastian, and they go out on a date. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was just how kind of like sweet she is with him. She's like, I like national anthems, when he asks about her favorite kind of music. And we find out what an oddball she kind of is.
Yeah.
And she continues to be this complex, just ever-changing ball of emotion. And I just feel like she brings me into whatever she's doing.
Yeah.
And then we get to see her like have kind of like this really intense sex scene with this boy, right? I thought that was like a striking visual to match that against the sweet date they had earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when you have that cute date, I also think that she was really on a date. I think that even though she's a psychopath, she does have those moments, because we'll learn later a lot about her in that kind of same realm of her life. So when he does ask her what kind of music you like, she's like, well, damn, what kind of music do I like? Because no one ever has the time to ask me. I like national anthem music, which I think because she travels, which actually shows something that she probably is listening to these different, you know, themes or songs or whatever. But yeah, that juxtaposition of this cute date with this anger fucking it was like
sex.
It was a really angry sex.
Thumpy, angry sex.
Just really angry. And I was like, ow, that doesn't feel good at all. Like,
I just feel like okay, so Villanelle, it's really easy to stay with this character. But what did you think of Eve in this episode?
I actually really liked her. Obviously, it's Sandra Oh. Like, I will always like her, what she does. But I, once again, loved the juxtaposition of Villanelle's life to Eve's life. She's not having angry sex, she's having boring sex. You know what I'm saying? With her husband. She's still having that weird animosity, that weird longing for something else. How Villanelle looked at the girl who passed by and had this longing look. Well, Eve has the same thing in her daily life, where she just wants more. She's longing for more. And I really like the fact that we got to see it in this episode. They did a lot more focus on Villanelle this particular episode, so there's a lot less to really dive into with Eve.
But her big struggle in this episode wasn't so much with her husband, it was more with the changing work dynamic. So she is Bill's assistant in episode 1. In this episode, Eve becomes the leader of this task force, but her old boss is on the task force, and he's questioning her and her investigative, the way she investigates this case. And he questions her. He's like, you know, why are you so fixated on this Villanelle character? Why are you so fixated on this assassin? We should be looking at the larger organization that's hiring this person, hiring her. And Eve believes, she's so convinced that the key to unlocking the organization is truly understanding who the assassin is.
Well, this is what I mean by when, you know, besides just the husband wanting and longing for more, she's longing to be a leader and longing to get this character and show what her capabilities are. But the problem is, she has the same, you know, thing that Villanelle does ultimately. You know, she has an obsession. She has a harder time letting go of, well, I would say like kind of letting go of the old life or knowing that change is, like, Villanelle doesn't like change, neither does Eve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless they're in control of it. So she's trying to get as much control, Eve, as possible to keep pushing forward and to go. But her obsession started to hinder that. And I think Bill doesn't know that's an obsession, but he does know that whatever she's researching and going into is starting to affect her personality. Bill and Eve have known each other before this. Like, they're friends. They're not just boss or whatever. We get to learn that.
They're more. They have a very deep,
Like a
long
confidant,
friendship
yeah.
going. So overall,
Yeah.
what do you think of the episode?
Gosh, I mean, I loved it. There's so many, like, we can talk about this for hours. Guys, down at the bottom, make sure you hit us up and, like, talk to us about this. I mean, there's so much gritty meat, and I personally...
Scale through 1 through 10, what do you give it?
I loved it.
This was one of my favorite episodes, so I'm going to give it a hard 7.
Oh, I'm going to give it an 8, because, I'm sorry, the whole pink dress thing and the whole psychologist, like...
interview was really great. I
Yeah.
really like that scene. I
so
love the
good.
dialogue. It continues
So
to
good.
titillate me. I want more of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it keeps it. This show is very much like having a person being dangled over an edge with like a fishing line. Like, you are really waiting for that to break and fall off, but like every time you're like, you breathe in, you can feel like, if I put any more weight in this episode, I'm gonna just jump off the edge. And that's what it feels like. And I can't wait to see more episodes, or I can't be a part of that kind of swan dive into madness that both women are going into.
you know that it's going to be quite the descent. But
So, guys.
happy.
I'm so excited. So, speaking of which, Jen got me a little Mary, Killing-EveMas, which I think is so nice of you. I just think this is like the coolest
Actually, no,
thing.
I really didn't. I didn't get you anything for Killing-EveMas.
What the actual fuck is in here?
I don't know. But that's not for me. I didn't do it.
Oh, this is disgusting. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god, it's all over my fingers. Oh god.
Card attached to it.
I don't like it.
Gross.
I don't like it.
Oh,
I
that's
don't like it.
stinky. Oh my god, has that been sitting here the entire time?
I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure.
There's a card, and I don't even want to touch the card. It's so disgusting.
What does it say? God.
It says, roses are red, violets are blue. I think your show is a bunch of poo-poo.
Did I put shit on my hands?
I think you just put some shit on your hands.
Oh god.
Oh my god! It's just been there the entire time? Please like and subscribe.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. If you want to see more or you want to talk to us, make sure to hit up Twitter at WhatAboutDat. Hope to see you guys later.